Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and if you are new to my channel, hello, welcome. I hope you'll consider subscribing for lots more diamond painting content. And if you are back, welcome back. Today I'm here with my recap, my month in review for the month of April 2023. And in these month in review videos, I like to just do a little series of mini reviews on the different canvases that I've completed in the month, and just give you a quick snapshot of what I've been working on in the past month. So in the month of April, I completed 6 diamond painting kits. This is my first finish. I do have to say that I have to give that a little bit of an asterisk because this kit was nearly done when the month of April started. I was down to maybe like a row or a row and a half. And so I feel a little bad calling this a finish, but I mean, I guess it was, because it was a WIP in the month before. But in total, 6 completed diamond paintings in the month of April. I have just 1 WIP going into the month of May, and I put up a total of 17 videos on my YouTube channel. Those are just the stats I tend to like to include in these videos. I actually did take the last week of April almost entirely, well, basically entirely off from putting up content, just because I need a little bit of a self-care break, and I am a huge proponent for taking care of your mental health, and so I wanted to practice what I preached. But anyway, I'd love to get into just showing you each of my completed canvases, and I've got my diamond painting logbook, which if you've seen my past month in review videos, you're familiar with it at this point. But I do keep track of all of my completed diamond paintings, and I just make notes on things like the stats and the things that I loved and maybe had issues with, that kind of thing. So you can see here, this first finish for the month is called Glorious Purpose. It is from Marvel. It's part of Diamond Art Club's brand new licensing agreement with Marvel, which is kind of a big deal. The size on this one is 55.8 by 70.7 centimeters, 59 colors, square diamonds. Let's see, I started it on March 23rd, finished it on April 2nd. 119th finish of all time, 13th finish of the year, first finish of the month. So I did do kind of a bit of a review on this one. If you watched my sneak peek / unboxing, which I'd gotten this in early enough that I was able to complete it before it actually released. And Loki is my absolute favorite Marvel character, and I could not believe that I got to work on this kit ahead of the release, and that I got to sneak peek this one. It's still like one of my favorite things that's ever happened to me, but I'm obsessed with how it turned out. I did do some special drill swaps, which is not something that I usually do, but I decided to swap out all of the colors in the Mind Stone over here in the scepter. Sorry, it feels like there's one that kind of slid out of place. There we go. I swapped out all of these colors for crystals, and if you're curious about exactly which ones I swapped out, which DMC colors, there it is there. You can take a screenshot if you like. So this was the DMC and this was the crystal color, and I got each of these from DP with sparklers, with the exception of I didn't realize I was going to want to switch the white AB out for clear crystals, or that I was going to want to take this beige color and turn it into crystals either. And I just had a pack of square crystals from Amazon that I used instead of waiting to get in more from DP with sparklers, because I was on a bit of a time crunch. But this kit worked up pretty quickly, and I absolutely love how it turned out. It was one of those, I had to work on it immediately, and I'm really incredibly happy with both the original artwork and how Diamond Art Club rendered it. So this was my first finish of the month, and I will do my best, by the way, if there are any of these kits that I have done separate dedicated post-review videos for, I will link those in the description box below this video. And so that includes this one, if you want to hear me go into even more depth. Let me shift this to the side. I'm going to grab my next finish. My second finish of the month was actually one of my WIPs going into the month of April as well. The name of this one is it's June Blooms. It's by the artist Margaret Morales, and it is from DIY Moon Shop, or Dye Moon Shop. I did do a rather thorough post review on this one. Honestly, that post review was a video that I was very nervous about sharing with you guys and putting together, and I tried to be very intentional and very just conscientious about how I was talking about this kit, because I just was really disappointed with it, and I still wanted to share though my feelings and my impressions on it in as neutral a light as I could. And I appreciate that the general response to that video was very, very gracious, and I hope that people did find it helpful and not me trying to be sensationalist. I have to be honest, I hadn't looked at this kit in a couple of weeks, and pulling it back out just now and looking at it again for the first time in a few weeks, it shocks me even more how it turned out. It's a bit even just more glaring. It's like I had gotten desensitized to it. The rendering just is not it for me, unfortunately. I go into it in quite a lot of detail in the post review, and I'll just mention here the same way I did there that this is very subjective. If you like how this looks and how this rendering has turned out, that's totally fine. I'm not telling you how to think or what your personal opinion should be. I'll just say that it's not how I would have liked to see this rendered. It definitely feels like there's kind of a heavy yellow filter on this piece, especially if you compare it to the original artwork. It's just very harsh by comparison, unfortunately. The transitions of these skin tones were kind of the biggest culprits for me. And then over here on her hand, I had a couple of people say that they actually thought that this was supposed to be like a lace glove or something like that. It's just the same kind of skin tones that are going on in her neck and her face as well. So I'm disappointed with how this turned out. I have seen that this artwork, which I adore the original artwork so much. I've seen that it actually is available as a cross-stitch chart from Heaven and Earth Designs. It's licensed. I'm kicking around the idea of doing a cross-stitch conversion of this piece at some point so that I can have maybe closer to the experience that I was hoping to have with working on this kit. But if you love how this turned out, then wonderful. My point with doing the review on this kit and everything, as with all of my reviews, truly is just to do the work for you guys so that you know how does a piece look when it's completed, what do different companies have to offer, and you get to then take that information and decide, does it align with what your personal priorities are and what your personal tastes are. And great, like wonderful. I hope that this was helpful in that sense wherever you personally land on it. But yeah, this is June Blooms. I'd gotten this in the size 50 by 65. I'm trying to remember if the last time I looked on the website if they had taken the size off actually, but it was when I filmed that post review, this kit was available in the 50 by 65 size, and then it was available in a size smaller and a size larger. At the time that I purchased it, this was the only size it was offered in. I chose to get it with round drills because I thought with the subject matter that round would be fine for the material. I would have liked to see more colors in this piece. It only had 36 colors, technically 35, because they offered, they list separately, but they offered the color 310 as either a regular diamond or an AB. But I think more colors would have served this piece well. And I also think that hand charting out some of these like really extremely characteristic computer rendering bits would have also served this piece as well. But that's just my personal taste and my own opinion. You have your own opinion. So this was my second finish for the month, my 120th finish of all time, and my 14th finish of the year. I love stats, you guys. You guys are gonna get all the stats, but let me shift this to the side. I have another finish to show you. Next up, this cutie. Believe it or not, I actually worked on as a mystery kit. So this is a small Jada Gem Shop mystery kit. The original artwork is actually called The Sign. It's by Martith Art. The size on this is 40 by 40 centimeters. It has 43 colors and has square diamonds. This is one of those kits I did do an in-depth post review on. I'll of course link it in the description box below. But I do want to mention, every time I show this, I mention this, do not fret at like, oh no, Katie, are you showing mystery with no spoiler warning? The way the Jada Gem Shop does mysteries is completely different, and so no spoiler warning necessary. The way that Jada Gem Shop does their mysteries is you choose the size and you choose how much or how little detail you'd like to give Jade as far as your request for mystery goes. In my case, I sent her the link to my wish list and I said, anything on my wish list is fair game. I'll trust your judgment. You pick one that you want me to work on for my wish list, one that'll look good in the size point that I purchased. I knew I wanted a smaller one. So the way that it came printed was with a solid cover a solid cover on top that helped disguise the symbols beneath. The printing on the canvas was entirely black and white. However, in my unboxing video, we peeled back that solid plastic cover. It still has poured glue, don't worry, even though it's the cover you usually see on double-sided adhesive. But I peeled that back and you could definitely make out the pattern of the fox's face in the symbols. So if you want to keep your kit a true mystery, I don't recommend doing that. But then I worked this one up and I just really thoroughly enjoyed working on it a lot. It was very confetti heavy. That's very consistent with your kits from Jade Gem Shop, as they tend to be much more confetti heavy, though she does do some hand charting and really cleans it up. She also added ABs in this kit for me. And this was one thing that I suppose in retrospect, someone pointed this out in the post review and I went, ooh, that's a good point. So in the original artwork, this sign, which actually gives this artwork its name, the sign on the fox's forehead was done in white ABs, which I really love the concept of, but when you look at the whole piece, it kind of maybe gets just a little bit lost in there. And so I wonder, well, I love the concept of those ABs. I wonder if a different color AB or a different kind of special drill would make it stand out just a little bit more. When I did that initial post review and was looking at this and taking pictures, I wasn't looking super closely at the original artwork in this case, and I didn't realize how prominent the sign was in the original artwork, so it didn't even occur to me at the time. And so I appreciate that a commenter did point that out and just say like, hey, you know, it's a bummer that that wasn't more, it didn't pop more. And I was like, oh, I didn't even think of that. That honestly is me being pretty nitpicky though. Overall, I really enjoyed how this turned out. I think the rendering was really nice and it was just fun. It was really fun to work on a mystery kit that I knew was catered to my tastes. I knew since she was picking from my wish list that it was gonna be a kit that had artwork that I knew that I wanted to work on. And it's like mystery kits for control freaks. So you don't even necessarily have to send her like a curated wish list you've put together when you order. You could even be as generic or less specific and say something like, can I just have something by this artist and name an artist that she licenses with? Or even like, I like this particular style of artwork. Can I have something in this genre? And she can totally run with that. So this was my, what was it? This was my 3rd finish for the month. It was my 15th finish for the year. And even though it was nice and snack size, it did take a little time. Let me see. I started it on April 10th and finished it on the 16th. So cute little finish, cute little snack size finish. Let me shift this out of the way. I have a big canvas to show you guys next. Next, I have a really fun one to show you guys. This is Beauty and Chaos from Unimade. It's by the artist Tally Sketch. And I just actually finished filming the full post review for this one. So if you're wanting to hear me go into lots of detail and take a really close look at various aspects of this canvas and you just hear me go on and on about it in a good way, stay tuned for that. I should have that up for you guys pretty soon. But this one was just magical, like really, really magical to work on. It is quite a bit bigger. It's 60 by 80 centimeters, which is kind of funny because I've said a lot recently about how I'm consciously trying to move away from canvases that are bigger than 50 by 70 centimeters-ish. But there really was something about this original artwork that was like tugging at my soul. I was really, really drawn to it right away and picked it up right at release and worked on it right away as well. And I was really pleasantly surprised that even given the size of this one and the level of detail and everything, it actually did work up pretty quickly. Let me see, I started it on the 17th and finished it on the 23rd. Like, the same amount of time it took me to finish that Fox Mystery Kit, that 40 by 40 Fox Mystery Kit from Jada Gem Shop, the same amount of time, roughly. I didn't count the hours or anything, but I mean, that gives you something of an idea. I think that really speaks to the difference between how long it takes to complete color blocking versus confetti, because this really did have a good amount of color blocking. It has square diamonds. It was the first square drill kit I'd worked on from Munimate. I was really incredibly pleased with the quality of the square drills. They were really nice. There is some minor gapping in a couple of colors. For me, it wasn't a deal breaker, and other colors fit really tightly and perfectly together, and so I don't even know that I would necessarily suggest a change to the drill field, but especially when you're working with like large areas of light colors, it can be tricky for there not to be what looks like gapping showing. I think I mentioned this in the post review video even, I may try to get my hands on some mica powder, because my friend Jade, actually the owner of Jada Gem Shop, in the last kit that we looked at, did a video where she demonstrates this mica method to help hide grid lines in a piece. So might play around with that to highlight like some of these grid lines behind and minimize the look of the gapping, especially like in the white window over here. We'll see. I'll keep you posted if I do that. But I was really entranced by this piece, and one of my favorite things about it was that because I work in sections, it was just neat to see each time I opened up and like moved on to the next section, there was something new and interesting and highly detailed to work on. And it was magical. And this is such warm and cozy artwork. I can't recommend it highly enough. I think the rendering is A+ perfection. And I want to do this kit all over again. It was so lovely to work on. I liked the AB placement. It was pretty subtle in this kit. We have some yellow ABs sprinkled through the string lights that are coming down the frame of the window. And then the white ABs are actually down here mostly in the computer area. There's some in this cloud. There's some in the white you're seeing in the keyboard is actually a white AB. So are these like cords and stuff. And then the headphones here are white ABs, which is really fun. So overall, you guys, Beauty and Chaos really was just a beautiful piece. I thought that the rendering was incredible, because looking at the original artwork, you might almost think that 60 by 80 isn't even big enough, but this was rendered masterfully. So Munimate continues to knock it out of the park. I'm going to continue to be a very avid supporter of not only their diamond painting kits, which are top-notch quality, this is the second one I've completed, and so I feel like, okay, proof of concept's totally there, but they also have diamond painting accessories like 3D printed trays that are some of my very favorites. So attention to detail is what Munimate's got going on, and I love it. So this one I believe is out of stock. I will link to it though. I think you can sign up for restock notifications, and I know it's coming back in the future. So hopefully sooner rather than later. But this was my fourth finish of the month, and I'm actually gonna grab my next two finishes to show you at once. So let me do that for you. I'm pretty darn excited for this because I haven't even revealed these on my socials yet, but my comparison project of these two kits is complete. You guys, this is Twilight Vibes. This is from Diamond Art Club and is by the artist PuffyGator. And this is actually the very first kit, not the last, that Diamond Art Club decided to test out releasing in both round and square drills. Now, they were kind enough to send me both to sneak peek and to compare, and they didn't tell me I had to work on these. I decided that I wanted to work on them both at the same time and do a comparison project for you guys, because a lot of my strongest roots in having a channel and a diamond painting actually come from doing comparisons, and I haven't done one of those in a while. So it was really fun to kind of get back to that, and it was a completely fascinating process that I'm absolutely going to get into with you guys in a ridiculous amount of detail very soon in its own dedicated video. But you are getting a sneak peek at how these turned out here in this month in review video. So they are different sizes because this is a square shaped diamond kit over here on the right. The one on the left has round diamonds. Square diamonds or drills are typically around 2.5 millimeters in size, and the round diamonds are typically between 2.7 and 2.8 millimeters in size. And so by nature, they're going to take up more space than square diamonds do. This is an identical rendering. Like the placement of the diamonds is exactly the same. The colors are identical. The only difference is that the square drill kit here, the size on it is 37.8 by 52.3 centimeters, and our round drill one is bigger at 42.6 by 58.8 centimeters. But I did lots of comparisons and shared some over on Instagram if you want to go take a look. But I am going to go into all of those details when I do the dedicated review video. One of the things I do want to point out to you though that I thought was a really fun and obvious difference between these two is how the diamonds sparkle. I feel like it's easiest to tell with the darker diamonds. So I'm going to show you up here at the top of the canvas. If you see when I move the round drill canvas, do you see how there's like this overall super sparkly effect? Again, looking at the dark diamonds. But then if I move that same section in the square piece, it's more of an overall, it's like a wave of shimmer effect. Do you see that? That's actually, it's not here. Let me try from this side again. Yeah, it's like, it's a wave of shimmery light. And then we have the round drill one, which is just overall sparkle. I'll try to capture that better for the review video, but like here side by side. I just thought this was so cool. I'm like, okay, so we have our round diamonds, which are super faceted and sparkly, but I'd almost describe the square diamonds as more of a like shiny polished effect. They still sparkle, but it's different. Anyway, I'll find some other ways to show you guys really how those compare. But aside from the comparison aspect of it, I have to say that this artwork was really, really neat to work on in diamond painting form. I didn't realize just how gorgeous and beautiful the colors are, especially in our tiger cub's face. Like, it's just absolutely beautiful. I love all the blues and just these bright, like neon-y colors almost. So vibrant, so colorful. I adore how this artwork turned out. I've had a lot of questions like on Instagram, like have I found that I had a preference of one over the other? I still can't decide. The ultimate answer is that I'm always gonna need both drill shapes in my life because there are things I really think that round drills are perfectly suited for and square drills are perfectly suited for, and I enjoy working on both, so I need both in my life. But this was finishes number 5 and 6 for the month of April, and I did work on these in tandem. So I completed a row, I worked in rows, and I completed a row in the rounds, and I did a row in squares, and then a row in rounds and a row in squares. It was so enjoyable to work on that didn't feel tedious at all to work on the same kit twice back to back. I'm really glad I did this, and I really loved doing another comparison kind of series again. So stay tuned for the in-depth review on these. I'm going to work on that video and try to help it be just really helpful and do it justice. But anyway, that was the last of my finishes. I'm going to show you my one WIP that I have going into May. My one WIP, I honestly feel just a little bit guilty about, because I have continued to neglect my poor cross-stitch conversion project. I love this project, but I am not finding myself spending nearly as much time as I'd originally intended to on it. Now, if you're brand new and you're like, this is brand new information, what are you talking about here? So I am currently working on, kind of in the background, a cross-stitch conversion project where I have taken a cross-stitch chart and I'm reading it and converting it to a diamond painting on a blank canvas. I have a playlist dedicated to this particular project. I started it well over 6 months ago at this point. It's not just 6 months on this part, don't worry. I broke this chart, this project, into 8 different panels that are all this size because it just is a really large project otherwise. I couldn't work on just one giant canvas for this whole thing, but I I am really, like I said, I love this project and I feel bad. I feel really guilty that I have not been giving it more attention. A little bit of it is that it's sometimes out of sight, out of mind. And also I just keep getting really excited about other projects that come my way. But I am hoping that in spite of a lot of the projects that I have coming up in the next few months, that I'm still going to be able to make sure I'm pulling this out from time to time and giving it some love. But this is the third of 8 panels and I'm just this far into it, not super far. I think my overall completion on it is like 26 point something% on the whole chart. Obviously not a ton in this panel, but I will link to that playlist in case you guys want to go revisit or take a look for the first time at this particular project and see what it looks like so far and whatnot. So I'm gonna try month of May, gonna try to spend a little more time working on this one. But speaking of the month of May, let me tell you a little bit about what's coming up. So I am hosting an event this month, actually. It's gonna be pretty no frills, but still hopefully fun. It's called Marvelous May. And it's centered all around the Marvel's new partnership with Diamond Art Club. And I will link to the announcement and launch video below and would point you there if you'd like to find out more about the event and participating. If you haven't heard of it already, and you can join in anytime in the month of May. No new start, no finish required. And that video will tell you all about what's involved with if you want to participate or enter for prizes and stuff. But I am going to be working on, I decided, the kit that has Doctor Strange in it called Magic Portal. And I think I'm just going to work on that one kit and try to extend it kind of throughout the month because I want to continue to spend some time on other projects and not just event-related things in the month, including my cross-stitch conversion. I want to give this one some love, like I said. But I do have that going on this month, and then I'm also doing a lot of like kind of prep and planning for Summer with the Masters, which is going to kick off on June 1st. That's an event I'm co-hosting with Anthony from Single and Placing, and I'll link to that announcement video below as well in case you're interested in joining in on that. Otherwise, I think it's just going to kind of be a lot of the content you guys know and love. I have a couple of ideas brewing that I'd like to try to work on this month if I can. So stay tuned just for maybe some new things, but in the meantime, a lot of what you already know and love, things like my weekly WIP and chats and reviews of completed canvases, of course some unboxings and small shop hauls. So maybe some other good stuff sprinkled in there too. But that is it as far as kind of my recap of the month of April. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my completed projects and going on that little journey with me, but let me know below in the comments, what did April look like for you? Any projects you're really excited about having completed or things you're really stoked for in the month of May. I'd love to hear about it. So thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up on your way out if you don't mind. And if you're not already subscribed and want to stay up to date with all the diamond painting content that I have coming in the coming month, feel free to hit the subscribe button down here, the bell to be notified when I share new videos. All right, my friends, I hope you have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day, and I'll chat with you in the next one. Bye.